The stage glows under bright lights as the nervous girl steps forward, her small frame almost trembling under the pressure. The crowd quiets, curious about the shy contestant walking so carefully across the floor. She clutches the microphone tightly with both hands, her knuckles turning white. Her eyes flicker between the judges and the massive audience, and it's clear that this is completely outside her comfort zone. Simon Cowell watches her closely, his usual composed face showing a hint of curiosity mixed with doubt. When she finally speaks, her voice comes out soft and shaky, stuttering slightly as she introduces herself. A few people in the audience exchange glances, unsure if she'll be able to perform. The girl nervously adjusts the mic stand, her breath shallow, her heart pounding loud enough that she can almost hear it over the crowd. The judges offer her small smiles of reassurance, encouraging her to take her time. She forces a nervous smile back, her lips trembling. The music hasn't started yet, but the tension in the air feels heavy, wrapping around the room like a spell. For a moment, she closes her eyes, whispering something to herself, maybe a prayer, maybe a promise. Then she looks up again, and her expression changes slightly. Behind the fear, a tiny spark of courage begins to show. The audience falls silent, waiting. This is her chance to prove that she's more than just the shy girl everyone sees. The stage lights soften as the pianist begins to play a gentle melody, and the girl stands perfectly still in the center of the stage. Her fingers lightly touch the microphone, her breathing uneven, her heart racing faster with every passing second. The entire room seems to hold its breath with her. The soft notes of the piano echo through the hall, filling the silence with a quiet tension. Her eyes are fixed on a single point ahead, not daring to look at the judges or the crowd. You can almost feel her inner struggle, the battle between fear and the dream she's carried for so long. She takes a deep breath, shoulders trembling slightly, as if trying to push the fear away. Simon Cowell leans forward, sensing that something big is about to happen. For a few moments, she doesn't sing. She just stands there, eyes closed, letting the music wrap around her. The audience watches, silent and still, unsure if she'll be able to start. Then, with one slow exhale, she opens her mouth. The first note hesitates, soft and uncertain, but it carries a surprising warmth. The judges exchange quick glances, that single sound is enough to change the entire mood. The fear begins to fade from her face, replaced by a fragile kind of confidence. The shaky girl who could barely speak a minute ago is about to show everyone who she truly is. The very first full note escapes her lips, and the transformation is instant. The same girl who moments ago could barely speak now sings with a voice that feels like it was meant for the heavens. Her tone is rich and emotional, every note carrying raw honesty that touches the soul. The crowd, which had been whispering and shifting moments earlier, freezes in place. You can almost see the disbelief on their faces as her trembling hands steady and her eyes open, shining with a new kind of light. Each lyric flows effortlessly, her voice blending power and vulnerability in perfect balance. Simon Cowell's expression shifts from curiosity to astonishment. He leans back slightly, shaking his head with a small smile of amazement. Alicia Dixon presses a hand to her heart, visibly moved. Amanda Holden's eyes glisten with emotion, completely captivated by the beauty of the performance. The camera pans across the audience, open mouths, teary eyes, hands slowly rising to their faces in shock. As she sings, her confidence grows. The shy girl who once stood frozen in fear now commands the entire room with grace. Her body moves gently with the rhythm, her voice soaring higher with every line, filled with passion and purity. The connection between her and the audience deepens with each note. The music doesn't just fill the room, it fills every heart. By the time she reaches the chorus, everyone knows they are witnessing something truly unforgettable. As the song swells into its emotional peak, the audience can no longer hold back their feelings. The girl's voice, once fragile and uncertain, now fills every corner of the room with breathtaking strength. Her passion spills through every lyric, and her eyes glisten as she sings from the deepest part of her heart. The emotion in her voice feels so real, so powerful, that it pulls everyone into her story. People in the crowd begin wiping their eyes, some holding their chests, overwhelmed by the beauty of what they're hearing. The judges exchange glances. None of them expected this from the shy girl who could barely introduce herself. Simon Cowell, usually stoic, looks deeply moved. Alicia Dixon's face softens completely, tears forming in her eyes as she listens. Amanda Holden smiles through her emotion, clearly touched by the authenticity in every note. Even the audience members who were doubtful at first are now on their feet, cheering quietly between lines, unable to contain their admiration. The girl, lost in her performance, seems to forget the crowd, the judges, and even her own fear. All that exists in that moment is her voice and the song. As she hits the final chorus, her voice rises, strong and pure, carrying waves of emotion that crash through the entire auditorium. The music slows, her final note lingering in the air like magic. Every single person in the room feels it, the quiet miracle of a shy soul finding her voice. The final note fades gently into silence, hanging in the air as if the world itself has stopped to listen. For a heartbeat, no one moves. The stage lights shimmer softly around her, catching the tears glistening in her eyes. Then, suddenly, the entire audience erupts into applause, a thunderous wave of cheers, claps, and shouts of joy. People rise from their seats in unison, giving her the standing ovation she never imagined she'd receive. The judges stand too, clapping and smiling with genuine admiration. Simon Cowell's face lights up with a rare, warm smile as he says something to the other judges, clearly impressed. The girl covers her mouth in disbelief, her shoulders shaking as emotion overwhelms her. She can hardly process what's happening. Moments ago, she was terrified of even speaking, and now, the entire room is celebrating her courage and talent. Amanda Holden's eyes are filled with tears, and Alicia Dixon nods proudly, mouthing the words, "You did it." Even the audience continues to cheer louder, chanting her name. Simon leans toward his microphone and says softly, "That was absolutely beautiful. You just reminded everyone what real music feels like." The crowd roars again. The girl lets out a trembling laugh, tears streaming down her cheeks, her heart full. She bows deeply, clutching the microphone close. In that instant, the shy girl who once stuttered and shook has transformed into a star, one whose voice will be remembered long after the lights fade.